Hello, anatomy friends. This is Dr. Alsop, and in this learning objective video, we will be discussing anatomical planes. So very vital in understanding these terms, as these will be discussed not only in anatomy, but in many other areas of the curriculum, particularly radiology. Our learning objective is to identify, but also differentiate between the four main types of anatomical planes. And like the video discussing anatomical position and spatial relationship terms, we know that having a standard terminology regarding planes can help to make communication clear amongst a healthcare team. So that standard terminology is key, and making sure we can define and differentiate between these terms is key to understanding a lot of our clinical communication. All right. Now, these planes we're going to talk about are imaginary. I know that sounds a little funny, but you have to conceptualize these. We don't have a big line running down our body that you can see from a mile away. You have to conceptualize these planes, and the planes intersect the body in anatomical position. See, I told you anatomical position is important, so make sure that you can conceptualize anatomical position to better understand this directionality of the planes. The four main types of planes are the median, the sagittal, the frontal or the coronal, you'll hear either, as well as the transverse or horizontal plane. So let's talk about each one of these. And we'll start with the median plane because this is typically the one that's easiest to conceptualize. The median plane, and sometimes you hear this referred to as the median sagittal plane, is a vertical plane. It runs vertically. The plane passes longitudinally through the midline of the body. So what that means is it runs through the midline of the head, the neck, as well as the trunk. And it will divide the body into mostly symmetrical right and left halves. Sometimes you see descriptions of median planes of certain structures, which in essence divides that structure, let's say of the hand or of the foot, into right and left halves. But the, with the capital THE median plane, is the one that's running through the midline of the body. So through the head, through the neck, and through the thorax or the trunk. Sagittal planes, and sometimes you'll hear parasagittal planes, are also vertical planes. And these planes are going to be parallel to the median plane. And those that are closest to the median plane are often referred to as paramedian plane. So those sagittal planes closest to the median plane are often referred to as paramedian. Another type of vertical plane are frontal or coronal planes. This type of plane runs perpendicular or at right angles to that median plane. So this plane is going to divide the body into anterior and posterior parts. The last type of plane is a break from the pack in that it is transverse, sometimes referred to as horizontal type of plane. So these are going to be horizontal, not vertical planes. The transverse plane runs perpendicular to the median, sagittal, and frontal planes. It divides the body into superior and inferior portions. Now, radiologists often refer to this type of plane as transaxial, or sometimes they just shorten it to axial planes. And you may also hear this type of plane referred to as a cross-section. Now, note, the amount of transverse, frontal, and sagittal planes are limitless. So when describing the plane, it's important to add an identifier, such as, say, the transverse plane through the umbilicus, as shown in this illustration on the right. Maybe a little higher than the umbilicus, but right around that level. All right, excellent. We have reached the summary slide, which again is an excellent way to review and prepare for upcoming assessments. Thank you so much for your time and attention, and please reach out if you have any questions.